Y estamos en otra edición de Economía y Finanzas. In this opportunity, we are having Claudia Grace. She's a health and wellness coach, and she's going to talk to us about uh, a little bit about her background and also about how the post-pandemic is affecting individuals' wellness, health, mental health as well. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about these topics because it's really important not only for the community in general, but also for business owners, because this affects in many ways the development that the capacity of our teams to perform. And this is Economía y Finanzas. Welcome, Claudia. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me, Delfino.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us in this opportunity to talk about this important matter. Like I mentioned before, Claudia Grace, she's a health and wellness coach. And this topic is a topic that is very important to talk about at this point where we are reopening. We are trying to get back to normal. We're trying to get back to our lives, but at the same time, we are now experiencing what is called a post-pandemic effect on our health and wellness. Tell us a little bit more about what is. First, let's start with your background. Could you tell us a little more about where you come from and how you started in health and wellness?
Sure. Claudia Grace, I'm a certified health and wellness coach. I design wellness programs for small businesses and organizations and individuals. My holistic approach is founded on a science-based methodology and my vast experience working with the top physicians who treated NFL teams like the Ravens, covering a variety of health issues on overcoming burnout, stress, chronic disease management, holistic nutrition, obesity, and mental health support. As you said, it's been very difficult. The state of our work completely changed globally overnight. We went from having strong workforce to going to remote and hybrid situations. And that really caused a lot of disruption, obviously. A lot of fear for dying and sickness. We're seeing so many deaths worldwide. The mental health soared. There's an 80% of mental health concerns in the workforce now. I think there were, serious issues, but they were never faced as much as we had to face, during the pandemic. And companies really had to change their social dynamics. Multiple part-time jobs rather than full-time jobs. There was sometimes just a workflow issue. If whole sections of companies were out with the COVID, the spread was so alarming in the beginning, and they didn't, make adjustments on that workflow, what would happen is a few people had to do the work of many, and that would cause those few employees to really get physically sick from doing this work. And not adjusting the time to do it, allowing for more time to accomplish a task of many were some of the issues that the companies were running into and had to pivot and make these accommodations and going back to the clients and, reassessing their time to accomplish tasks due to this, unclear circumstance. No one knew how long it was going to last. There was very much uncertainty. So we're still, kind of coming around. I think people are still, with the inflation now we're facing and jobs, the difference in jobs, many people lost jobs, and just the uncertainty of things causes people to feel stress. And mental health and not feeling their best. Obviously, how can we feel really good when were fearing, financial, repercussions. Small businesses, many went out of business because they couldn't withstand all the level of shutdowns and lockdowns to support their business.
Now, even the White House has released information about how mental health, post-pandemic effects on mental health is affecting the economy, and it's affecting businesses, and because it affects also performance. It affects everyone at the end of the day. So, what's the best thing to do for a business when in these times when it comes to this issue?
Well, I think first they need to identify systems on how to offer support to their employees. Many employees don't even know they have it. So first of all, it's really just educating their employees on what it is. It boils down to an exhaustion in a form of a deep kind of fatigue that isn't curable by just resting. You can't just go on a vacation and take a couple days off and feel better. This is a kind of a permanent state of exhaustion. It can have like a ripple effect. It also tends to be accompanied by a very negative assessment of your accomplishments, like your skills and efficacy and the value of your work. You may start to have very negative feelings or resentment about people in your work. With whom, like colleagues, because you are in this level of just completely, you're done. You can't do anything. You've lost your focus. I think you're just complacency of just doing the best that you can because you're just.
It affects the work environment.
Yes. So a lot of it could be, it could be a systematic concern. If the workflow isn't, kind of going through it at a normal, reasonable expectation, and you're just in that grind mode, 12-hour days, that's what's expected, weekends, that's what's expected, then, you're going to get to that negative perspective and just like you just can't keep up, and then it gets to the point where you just don't care because you just can never reach that level of accomplishment. Or so in those situations there are ways that you can assess the employees. You can educate them to feel like to see if they are having those feelings, get licensed professional help from a mental health professional. You can get you can have telemedicine so they can get this help, and whether they need a little bit of time off to kind of just get emotionally better, or having weekly sessions during their work week, and so that it's like giving them time to do it. Each person's situation is different, and the best remedy is what the licensed professional recommends, because at that point it's truly serious and they need to support their employee that was very productive and help them improve their mental health, because it should be that the employers care for their employees and show them that support because they were a highly functioning, contributing member of that company.
So how would you summarize the what should a manager or business owner, the CEO of a company do right away to improve the situation, even in case they haven't perceived it yet, because like you mentioned, it's something that you may not have noticed yet.
Right. So if you have a wellness committee, or they have an HR, they should have systems already existing in place where that if someone's feeling they have family situation or some personal situation, mental health issues, there should be a written protocol in an employee handbook on what are the steps to take. And given COVID, I think there should be some kind of new standards that employees know that if they're struggling, communicate with your manager, and there should be some kind of steps on what to follow that's best for them, so they can, privately discuss this and file the right protocols on, there's employee assistant programs that offer, mental health support. If they see a lot of the staff members are suffering with these kind of symptoms, they're going to call in a licensed professional on site to help these people, and have an overall kind of a wellness, intervention per se, because it could be many people, not just a few. So depending on each situation, when certain situational things happen, they can, a wellness coordinator or HR person, whoever's in charge of this in each corporation, will decide what is best to help the employees at that time. And if they don't have those steps, that's something they need to revisit right away and get, start towards having a complete, employee wellness program, because it's going to give a better supportive culture. It really does reduce healthcare costs. It also supports morale, productivity, and, just a sense of supportive culture, care for the people that, that makes that company successful.
Like some of the ways you can measure that could be also to reduce rotation of employees. Sometimes companies, they don't even notice, but they keep losing people,
Right.
and the reason is the work environment,
Yes.
or many issues that they could be going through. How are there other measurements that you will look at, or you would tell small business owners to look at?
Yes, exactly. So retention is, this year it was the greatest resignation. I think it was 4 million people quit their jobs because, they realize, tomorrow isn't promised. And COVID really taught us, how in one moment, millions of people died all over the world. And I think that gave people a change of perspective, like, I need to, support the company that I work for, and they need to support me. And I think that is the change now, that employees really want to feel a part of the company, and that the company does care and is going to go to lengths to put them first. Many companies offered help like childcare, elder care to their employees, or mindfulness has been a big change in how to slow down, how to do, breath work and mindfulness, like meditation, to help people during the day, if they're having moments, or maybe they lost someone or someone's sick and they're afraid for their, welfare during these difficult moments. So bringing in alternative kind of holistic remedies to combat these stressful moments has made a huge difference on retaining the employees, because they feel like they care. They're also awarding employees like, gym memberships, or they're bringing in people to the work, like having a mindfulness day, and the whole day is all about wellness and how to take care of themselves, prioritizing their health, how to eat healthier. If we feed our bodies with the right foods, we're going to feel better, less stressed than if we're eating, very high, high corn fructose or high sugar foods, or unhealthy foods. We're not going to feel as well mentally. So our food, and offering healthy choices in a work environment is one of those ways they can help in aiding their staff, and their employees on feeling better, mental health, going to the regular checkups, encouraging those healthy choices because they care about their health. Some companies offer rewards. If you get your well check, you get a healthy meal plan or a healthy reward to a certain place to inspire more healthy choices like that. So there are so many ways that they can show that to their employees, their care in their health.
That's great information. Thank you, Claudia, for sharing with us some of your views and your expertise in this issue. I hope to have you very soon back to our show.
Thank you.